Today we're going to be working on this Toshiba laptop. It has no power, and the customer said he had it stored for a long time. When I plug in the charger, you can see that there's no real power draw at all. Whatever you see here is a parasitic draw from the charger itself. When I go to measure voltages, I can see that there is voltage coming into the board from the charger. I have 20 volts from the charger, and right here we have two MOSFETs. These are the input MOSFETs. These determine whether the power goes to the rest of the board or not, but anywhere after these MOSFETs, I don't seem to have any voltage at all. So for some reason, the charger voltage is not being allowed to pass through to the rest of the board. And we've already done other tests. We tried removing the CMOS battery, all that kind of simple stuff, isolating the board, and nothing really worked. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and test, see if there's any shorts right after these MOSFETs. When I measure this little current sensing resistor right here near the blocking MOSFETs, you can see that there is a short to ground. There's another little capacitor right here. When I measure around it, there is also a short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder a little wire on there, and I'm going to use that to inject current into the board and see if we can locate that short. So actually, before I do any of that, I'm going to go ahead and remove this little current sense resistor so I know which side the short is on, and that way I don't end up passing a lot of current through that resistor before. When I do that, I can see on this side I have a short to ground, and this side I don't. So the short is somewhere on this side. So now I'm just going to put this little wire on here, and we'll use that to inject current. So the thing about shorts like this is that whenever you see a short right on the DC input, it can sometimes mean that one of the MOSFETs that feeds the CPU shorted out, meaning that the charger voltage went straight into the CPU. So hopefully that's not what we're dealing with, otherwise this board might not be repairable. So I'm going to go ahead and inject current with the power supply, and I'm going to keep the voltage a little low, so in case we do have a short towards the CPU, we don't end up frying the CPU if it isn't fried already, which in most cases it is if a CPU MOSFET shorted. Trying to find a good grounding spot. So I hook up power here, and immediately I start getting almost an amp of current draw. And so using the thermal camera, I can see what's getting hot. I do see a lot of heat around this area, but that might just be residual heat from when we heat it up to solder and remove that resistor. But I do see another spot here. I'll put on this macro lens, which will help us see closer, and I can see that there's a capacitor that's heating up. So that's this capacitor right here. So the thermal camera shows that this capacitor here is getting really hot, so most likely that's going to be our problem. Let's hope that we can just replace that and the problem will be solved. So I'm going to add a little bit of leaded solder so we can lower the melting temperature, take these out a little easier. I'm going to take both of them out so I can measure the other one and figure out the value so I know what to replace it with. So this right here is our good one. We're going to put it off to the side so I can measure it after it cools down a little. In the meantime, I'm going to go back over here and see if the short cleared, and we no longer have a short, so that's a good sign. Now I'm going to set my multimeter to test capacitance, and we're going to measure this good capacitor, see what kind of value it tells us. It's 11 microfarad. I'm going to flip it around and measure again. 11 microfarad is kind of a weird value. Usually the closest standard value is like 10, probably because it's still a little bit hot. So I'm just going to go with a 10 microfarad. That's a very common value used as a decoupling cap. So I'm going to put back this capacitor, and then I'm going to drop in our new one. The form factor is a little bit different, but it'll still work perfectly fine. Same rating and everything. I'll drop in a little flux to get everything to seat better, make it look nice. Perfect. Then over here, I'm going to remove this cable that we put in. Add a little flux again, add a little bit of leaded solder, and then we'll add this current sense resistor again. Connect the keyboard back up. I'm not sure where I left this guy's CMOS battery. I'll have to give him a new one. Let's hope to God this works. Hook up the charger. I still don't really see any significant current drop, but let's try hit power. And I do have a power light. It'll take a while since the CMOS is probably resetting since the CMOS battery was removed. I'm gonna just force it to shut down, start again, see what happens. All right, this time I'm getting a little bit more current draw if I plugged in the fan. Okay, there you go. We have power. That's the warning message of the CMOS reset. So let me put this back together with its hard drive, clean it up a little bit. We'll clean up this flux. Looks perfect, no residue left over. Make sure everything's plugged back in. Let me go get a new CMOS battery. Actually, I found his original battery. I had it taped to the lid. So that's back in. His hard drive. Check one last time that I have everything connected. Almost forgot to give this thing a little bit of a cleaning. Not too bad. This customer removed his own battery, and I believe he lost the screws, so I'm going to try and see if I can find some screws just like these. Alright, so I found a good screw. Alright, we're powered on. We'll give it a little bit because it's got a CMOS reset all over again. Shouldn't need to do that next time since we do have a CMOS battery in it now. But we need to see if the battery is actually any good. That might prevent it from powering on again. Although I do see the light on the power button. Let me force shutdown and try restarting again. Alright, so let's see if this thing boots up with the hard drive and everything. Ignore that message. Looks like Windows is loading. So I booted up to the login screen, kind of a slow laptop, so we'll hand it off to another technician to give the customer some upgrade options. But as far as the board repair, our job is done. It's working now. That was a success. Thanks for watching the video. Please follow our page.